Bizzy Bone recently apologised for an altercation he had at the Verzuz battle with 3-6 Mafia. A fight broke out after he hurled a bottle across the stage at members of the Memphis crew. An hour into the show, it had to be stopped due to the fight. After things calmed down, the show resumed. Bizzy apologised, saying he didn't want to ruin the show and that they should continue. Sometimes it's hard to understand people when we don't know their history and where they have come from, as well as the struggles they have overcome. Brian Bizzy Bone McCain II was born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1976. While in high school, he met the other members of Bone Thugs. They formed the group in 1984 and eventually got signed to Eazy-E's label, Ruthless. He became their mentor. They were shocked by his death in 1995. Eazy-E died due to complications from AIDS. Bone Thugs paid tribute to him in the song Crossroads. It reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and charted well in several different countries. But before his success in the group, Bizzy dealt with trauma and unspeakable challenges throughout his childhood and beyond. At just 4 years old, Bizzy was kidnapped by his then stepfather, former Pittsburgh Steelers fullback Brian McCain. Bizzy and his 2 older sisters, who were Brian's biological daughters, were kidnapped after being told that his mother and grandmother were dead. They were gone for 2 years, moving from shelter to shelter, apartment to apartment, motel to motel, and even sleeping in cars. Bizzy said his stepfather was a very intelligent guy and knew how to evade the authorities for as long as they did. Bizzy and his sisters were forced to move around for 2 years while his mother worked tirelessly to find them. She even called upon activist John Walsh, whose 6-year-old son was kidnapped and murdered in the early 80s. Walsh, local agencies, and eventually the FBI worked to find Bizzy and his sisters. Bizzy and his sisters were taken to a Native American reservation in Oklahoma. While quote-unquote on the run, Bizzy was subjected to unspeakable abuse. He was SA'd by the son of one of his stepfather's friends. He didn't tell a soul for years, as he was too young to comprehend the gravity of what had happened to him.
So I bottled that up inside, and I kept that up inside, and I never told nobody.
During this whole ordeal, Bizzy still went to school and went by the name of Adam. A reservation neighbour and babysitter of Bizzy recognised who he was and alerted authorities. When we were in school, they called me and my sisters down and were interrogating us, asking us our last names. I ain't never been a snitch, even as a baby, so I kept telling them the fake name, Jones, Jones, Jones. And eventually my sister broke it like, you can tell them. Bizzy and his mother were reunited, much to her relief, no doubt. But sadly, after remarrying again, she found herself in another abusive relationship. And yet again, Bizzy was made to suffer at the hands of another abusive stepfather. Oftentimes, if one doesn't deal with their issues, they find themselves drawn to the same type of personalities, and these predators prey on the vulnerable. But Bizzy's mother found the courage to leave her abusive husband. But unfortunately, Bizzy ended up in foster care. He was placed in a home where he received love and attention, but despite this, he still got involved with a bad crowd and began engaging in criminal activity in his early teens. As a kid, I was stuck with monumental things that happened in my life. Kinda tragic. I didn't really have any elders I could count on for a specific amount of time. I had a 2-3 year stint with my mum. I was kidnapped after that for 2 years. John Walsh helped lead the charge in finding me. And then after that, I was in foster homes, running around. He sold drugs and became a street dude. At just 14, Bizzy became a father. He ended up fathering 10 children from 4 different mothers. I became a father at 14 years old. I became a father even before I became a man. It seemed like everywhere I turned, there was another obstacle. The song Hip Hop Baby from the 2005 Bone Brothers album is dedicated to his kids. At 15, Bizzy met Lazy and Crazy Bone. Music became an outlet for him, and he would address his struggles in his songs, both in the group and with his solo projects. Bizzy also addressed the haters through his music and those who clowned him for the struggles he had endured. He even spoke out against Wendy Williams in the song Gangsta Music, saying, "Wendy Williams, you need to kill the noise. You made your name up off of gossip and laughed because I was touched as a boy." Bizzy is best known for integrating rapid-fire raps, double harmony choruses, and a soft-spoken, high-pitched delivery in his music. His debut album, Heaven's Movie, went gold and was critically acclaimed. There have been some reports saying that Bizzy was diagnosed with schizophrenia, yet he has never confirmed this nor denied it. He did release a song called Schizophrenic, which many believe is about his struggles with mental health. Last year, on Facebook, he captioned a video saying, "Depression, anxiety cannot defeat this mindset. Wash, rinse, repeat. Let's focus on our mental health."
Today is my day.
Many fans came to his defense after the Verzuz incident, stressing the importance of not making light of the situation, especially after Gangsta Boo's comments saying that he needed to take his pills. She refused to apologize for it later, saying that everybody has a sad story. Even before the Verzuz battle, Bizzy called out 3-6 Mafia, asking them to explain their name, why they would choose such a name when they grew up in the church. Then he basically accused them of selling their souls. So you can imagine, it wouldn't have got off to a good start anyway. As far as I'm concerned, their name speaks for itself. We know how dark the music industry is. I mean, what do you think? Another tragedy that Bizzy had to face was the loss of his best friend, foster brother and business partner, Adrian Parlett, in 2003. He was shot 3 times and killed in his home in Columbus, Ohio. Adrian had featured in both of Bizzy's albums. He was only 23 at the time of his death, and the murder still remains unsolved. Speaking of the murder, Bizzy said, "I blame myself, because if I wasn't blackballed in the industry, I could have had him out there working. I could have had him out there singing his heart out, doing what he does best. But we are real people, and what we rap about and sing about is not fake. If we're not doing this, there's a good chance we could end up dead. I mean, that is the truth. We are real street poets with terrible stories. No mothers, no fathers, foster homes, beat on, touched on, those type of stories. We lost him, and he is watching over us." In the All Hip Hop interview, Bizzy said that he was basically portrayed as the black sheep of Bone Thugs and Harmony. He was labelled as a dysfunctional alcoholic and the member who was always causing friction within the group by not showing up to video shoots, concerts, and press opportunities. Bizzy said that people were warned within the industry not to work with him, and he was basically blackballed. And he said this also affected his foster brother, Adrian, who was basically guilty by association, so couldn't find work either. Speaking about his life story and his struggles, Bizzy looks at things in perspective, and he says, "This is how I maintain, because everybody has a story, and there is always somebody out there who has had it worse than you. So pick your ish up, kiss your children, and go and get some effing money, Brian. And that is how I maintain. And one more thing that keeps me going is the people." Some people are touched by Bizzy's trials and tribulations. That is more fuel than you can imagine. When someone comes up to you and says, "I feel what you've been through. I went through foster homes. And when I listened to your music, I found out that I wasn't the only one who was like that. And it made me cry. That right there is like nitrogen to my fuel reactor. It gets my ego oil jacked up. If you want me to do a detailed video on the murder of Adrian Parlett, like this video. Many are rooting for Bizzy and want to see him continue to beat and overcome his struggles. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts below. Like and subscribe for weekly videos. And don't forget to click the bell for more.